Cancer, welcome. This is Erin. We are here again with a channeled art scope. So we're going to be tapping in, as we do always, to the natural cycle of the Cancerian archetype's growth. Okay, and to do that, I tap into the new moon. And indeed, today is Sunday, the 15th of April, Aries new moon, powerful new moon. If you haven't already seen the video that I posted yesterday on the dynamics of this particular new moon, which is rich, and this week ahead, which is rich, and then I'm touching into the month ahead, which is rich. There's going to be more, though, coming, okay? But indeed, there's a shift in the narrative. There's a change that's happening, and we're all going to feel the impacts. And I'm sending you all much love. There's a lot of physicality that's being impacted. I talk about that in the video. So if you are having any health issues, body issues, exacerbated health, you want to listen to your body. You want to attend. You want to be gentle with your body, and do what's needed, do what's called, really listen to it, talk to it. Okay, so let's tap into Cancer. Okay, now I have some gouache paints here, and I also have my charcoal pencils. So let's just see what wants to come for you. I'm going to take a little drink here. I have a tea with jasmine flower, chamomile, rose hips. It's wonderful. Okay. Cancer. It's interesting because the green that I'm using essentially matches my shirt. Exactly. So I'm going to tap in, Cancer. So I invite you to get a little tea or a coffee. It'll just be a few minutes, but I want to tap in. Hopefully you can see everything okay. It's a little bit with the sun and the quality of paper that I'm using this month. It's a little more wrinkly, so it's a little harder to see. You'll be able to see more, I think, once I get more complete here. Let's see if it's better if I do that. Maybe. I don't know. It's a little, maybe it needs to be a little shadowed. Okay. So what I'm doing, Cancer, is I'm just letting kind of color, form, image, picture, symbol, whatever wants to come, movement. You know, it's just a matter of following what wants to come. And then we'll talk about it. Because it all has meaning. Every manifest form, every form reflects function. Every form has meaning, always. So Cancer, there might be more that wants to emerge, but let's start talking about this, and then we'll add accordingly as needed. So there's a couple things. First of all, we started with the green, which literally, I mean, it's like a perfect match for my shirt. This green from top to bottom, diagonal, okay? So it's going from upper right to lower left. This might be a reflective recording, so hopefully that'll come through correctly. But from my perspective, it's upper right to lower left. It's thick and it's solid, it's organic and it's easy. There's a grace to it. We know that the color green does imbue expansion, growth, newness, new life. So there's some level of new life that I see coming in over the course of this cycle. So what we're doing is we're tapping into the growth edges. What gets catalyzed in your life experience for this month ahead to catalyze the growth arc, all right, for Cancer. So for you, there's this growth coming down into your physicality, because this is essentially up in the ethers here, in your psyche, in your insights, in your intuition. There's growth that has been activated. There has been experiences that have created a thread, a trail, as it were, of newness for you, new thinking. And there's probably new insight. So over the course of this cycle, there are new thoughts that are birthed, and it's coming down into your physical reality. The interesting thing is it came ultimately, there's this blue, almost like a glove. You know, it's like a holder, a container, but it's not a vessel. It's not like a grail. You know, it's not a chalice. It's almost like a glove. So there's something kind of catching, as it were, this new growth that maybe is starting to become embodied over the course of this month ahead. So there's new growth of mind coming into embodiment over the course of mid-April to mid-May, and it's being held. And the interesting thing is blue can represent spirituality. It can represent communications, you know. But the fact is that there's this, what I want to say is almost this spiritual aspect of your life, that is holding on to, nurturing even over the course of this cycle, the new insights, the new growth of mind. So you're holding that, and that's coming from a place of faith, I think, this month. You know, it's like there's been new movement, new growth in your life, and indeed, you're taking that and you're drinking it in and you're containing it, you're holding it. And it might be that you feel contained over the course of this month. It might be almost like a hermit kind of a reality for you over the course of this month ahead, okay? So a bit like needing to have stillness, have quiet, have alone time, etc. That's what I'm getting. It's almost like you're feeding the new growth of mind with your spiritual practice, because this is the embodiment. So this could be spiritual ritual, meditation, contemplation, your daily habit, feeding the birds in the morning, going for the walk, etc., etc. Now, we'll come to this other part, but what I want to say is this. Up here, there's this black dot that also has this blue ring around it. And I, again, think that this is very, very positive, because with any negativity that you're holding right now with regards to your life experience, there's an outline of a spiritual, again, container. Do you see that? And what I get is this is more in your mind. This is more in your body. This is more in your mind. So any negativity, you're holding that lightly. I feel that you're letting things go that might have just been the big black blob, you know? So there's a lightness of being. There's a more spiritual orientation to the negativity. It's contained. There's a grace element at play here is what I get, okay? Now, there was all this other green that came down here. Ultimately, there were these brown kind of sepia-toned arrows, okay? So there's a wash of this green, let's say, new insight. There's a wash of it impacting your life, embodied life, into your physicality, into your relations with people, into your work, engagements, home, family. So there's a wash of new growth, but what I would say is that there's a bit of determination here to root. What I get for you this month is that you might be desiring to ground yourself. You want to be fixed at some level. You don't want to be floating. Maybe there's been a lot of shift and change, and you want to ground, you want to root yourself. And to me, there's an insistence here. There's a determination, which can be both positive and negative. If you go too far, it can be too much. So you're dancing a little bit. You're navigating the journey of grounding into place the new growth. But keep in mind, malleability is the name of the game for the human condition over the course of the next many years. So we want more stability, because a lot is tearing apart. The systems, the fabric of our reality is tearing apart. So I understand this, and I'm going to let you know that you want to hold it lightly. You want to understand that life is going to have its way a bit. There's a bit of a chaos cycle that we're going through that will play out. It will play out, and humans are going to have to adjust to the chaos playing out, okay? Now, there are these three black kind of lines over here. I need to adjust my legs here. There's these three lines over here, which a little bit hard to see, I think, for you, but they look maybe like a little gray, but you can see those lines. I don't know what that is. I mean, anytime black comes up, there's more of a harshness, more of a negativity, more of a criticism, that kind of thing. So there could be some negative people, actually, is what I want to say. They're vertical entities. So there could be, let's say, 3 people in your sphere over the course of this time frame that are maybe even triggering some negativity, right? So you have the black here, and you have the black that you have contained within the blue, the spiritual sphere. So indeed, there could be some negative people coming into your reality. Keep in mind, any conversation, person, situation that triggers a negative response in us is our own wound. We only respond to what we already hold and relate to, resonate to. So if there's any negativity coming up out here, know that it's yours. It's yours to heal. Let them be the reflection. Let them be the reflection. They're serving a purpose. Let them serve the function. So that might be arising for your growth. So let the negativity that's coming up for you be your own self-reflection. What's triggering you is your own wound, always, always, never any different. Here, there's a horizon line with a sun. So this is like a rising sun. I didn't get it as a setting sun. I get it as a rising sun. And there's a reflection here, like sunlight reflected almost on water. And I think that that's gorgeous. What I want to point out is there's these rusty brown, kind of thick lines that they weren't like emanating out of the sun. They're kind of coming in at the sun. And what I think that is practicality. So even as you have a new reality, I think a lot of you have a new reality of life that's actually emerging for you, or it has already emerged. It could be new. I know for a couple of cancers in my world, there's new home involved. So it could be new job, new relationship, new home, new place, but there's newness. A new sun is rising on the horizon. It is indeed a new chapter for a lot of cancers, okay? What I get with these brown lines that are kind of stabbing at the sun is that, again, it's almost like here. I feel, and there are 3 here and 4 here. See, what I want to say is there's a practicality element here. 4 is practicality. And this brown kind of talks about earth and soil. It's practical, it's earth-based, it's fixed. And what I want to say is that for this new beginning of this life that is now emerging for you, this month you could see maybe some insistence or some practical work that you're doing on the new chapter that's rising. And I don't see this necessarily as negative. I see this as maybe logistics have to be attended to. And so a lot of you are actually working on the logistics of the new chapter rising on the horizon. And it's beautiful too with the reflection, Cancer, because to me, the joy of the yellow sun, of the emanating self, it's reflecting here on Earth, on the watery realm of the, let's say, foreground. So it's reflecting the new chapter. You're starting to feel it. I feel it's more grounded for you, for a lot of you. You're going to feel whatever changes have already emerged for some of you and are about to emerge for more of you, because the timings are a bit different, that there's new growth, but there's an embodiment. There's almost like a realization and assimilation of what's happening. You know, it's almost like you're settling into place. That's what I get. Now, as I've done as I've done forever, I'm going to go ahead and select a card from the Carolyn Mace archetype deck to tap into the primary growth edge for you over the course of this month. For those of you interested in my services, my work, learning more about the holistic nature of living systems of the soul and learning about your soul print, my holosynthesis work, you can go to the alchemyofholism.com. And I'd be happy to work with you. For those of you interested in becoming a patron, there's a lot of benefit to becoming a patron as well. Okay, now, if I'm not mistaken, Taurus also received this card. Lover is coming up, okay? I hope this is coming up so you can read it, this particular film. Hopefully you can read that it says Lover. So Lover is your growth edge over the course of this month, the prime growth edge. So what wants to be evolved out of is obsessive passion that harms others and self-destructive devotion. So devotion that you have that absolutely eats you away, you know, that does not honor self, that does not honor you. Okay, it's a complete focus on the other versus a focus on you. Here, what wants to be evolved over this time frame is a great passion, activating great passion and great devotion. Okay, but there's a purity to it there. Unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Okay. So what this is talking about is pure love. It's tapping into the purity of loving energy, the purity of your source field, because your source field ultimately is unbridled passion and devotion. It's unbridled appreciation, gratitude, you know. That's your growth edge. And you know what? I just want to point this out. Look at this color. This color essentially is the same color as this. So what I want to say, Cancer, with regards to that alignment is that there's a groundedness here. You know, love doesn't have to be all frilly and foo-foo. Love can be very grounded and it's the natural state of being, really. But humans have skewed it. Humans have skewed the whole idea of love. But this is about actually being the source field, actualizing it. And the thing is, I think that that's happening for you. There's practicality playing out, but there is also an assimilation of the joy of the new chapter that's rising on the horizon, or that's already begun to rise on the horizon for a lot of you. I'm sending you all so much love and support. There are weekly support vehicles available for you in the patronage in patreon.com, and you can find the link below for those interested. Okay, so until my next video or until next month, I'm sending you much love and much support. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.